Good evening and welcome to Mystery Card Class. I'm Nancy Dodge from YB Stamp. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I hope you've had a chance to gather the supplies that I've posted. If not, you can watch now and do it later, or kind of watch a little now, do a little now. Either way, it doesn't really matter. Following this Mystery Card Class, I will post the PDF to this project on my website, ybstamp.com. So welcome. I see a few of you are here already. I'm going to jump in and start with our clues. All right, our first clue, we're going to take our designer series paper and we're going to cut it up. We're going to cut a piece, hi Tracy, from our design 3 3/4 by 5. Now, I'm going to switch to my desk view. So I have, I can pull this out, my designer series paper. Now you could do it with one that's a scene, or you could just do it with plain. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes the scenes come out a little cooler, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. So I want you to kind of think of how you want to see your pieces. So it's going to be 3 3/4 by 5. So the 5 inches are going to be tall, and the 3 3/4 are going to be across the horizon. So I really want these flowers in here. So I'm going to do the 5 inches this way, and yours is going to be however you want it to be. That's the unique thing about doing this mystery card, is nobody's card is going to come out alike. Everybody's is going to be different. And then I want 3 3/4. So I kind of want more of these flowers. Well, I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to cut it that way. 3 3/4. And then, just to quickly go back to our first clue, we're going to cut them into 1 1/4 inch pieces. And it's important that you keep the order. That's going to be the hardest part. So I'm going to do 1 1/4. And 1 1/4. So now I hope, sorry about the noise, I have 3 strips that are 1 1/4, 1 1/4, 1 1/4. So then I'm going to want to do this. And I'm hopefully going to get them in the right order. You can do them separately if you want. I'm going to do mine together. Can you see what I'm doing? I'll move it up just a smidge. All right. 1 1/4. So these are along the bottom. I'm just going to stick these aside so that I'm keeping them in order. And then my next level, making sure I keep all of them together. 1 1/4. And cut. So this is my next level. And then 1 1/4. All right. Next level, and then my top level. All right. Did I mess that up already? I could have. I did. I turned them. Okay. So I'm going to stick my trimmer aside, and we're going to go to clue 2. So remember, we keep these in order. That was in our clue 1. All right, clue 2. Evenly lay out the squares in your order. which I did, but I want you to do it on the 5 5/16 by 4 1/16 inch coordinating cardstock. So that's what I've got here. So I want to evenly space it on this cardstock. And I found the easiest thing to do is to move everything. And then move everything around so that there's just about 1/8 of an inch on all your sides. It's a little tricky, I know. I've done this card a couple times, but it looks really cool when it's done. So just slowly move things around till you get them to where you want them. Some pieces will be stubborn, because there's always one in every crowd, isn't there? Oops, this edge doesn't, there. I suppose I could use my pick tool too. All right. So that's about as even as I'm probably going to get it. So that's my clue number 2. All right. Let's go on to clue number 3. Let me know if I'm going too fast. Clue number 3. I'm talking about the clue and the number at the same time. Adhere 6 squares. So we're going to do the top right 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoops, hold on. Bottom left 2 and 1 in between. So you have a 2.5 by 2.5 inch section at the top left and a 1 1/4 by 2.5 on the bottom. So I'm going to show you what that is. So I want these 3 here. So I'm going to move these 4 out of the way. Now you actually could do another card and just do it kind of opposite. I don't want to move these too much. And then I'm going to keep the 3 on the bottom here, and I'm going to move these 2 right here. Does that make sense? Hopefully. I'm going too fast. Okay, that's what I needed to know. So I moved these 4 squares after I got them. I mean, yeah, they still move around a little, but as you adhere them, they'll start going in the right space. And it's about 1/8 of an inch in between and around everything. So some people like to use the mono adhesive glue, multi-purpose glue, because they can move their pieces around. Some people like to use Stampin' Seal. It depends on what your preference is. So I have put my glue in this little tube, and the reason that I did that is because it allows just a little bit out at a time. So I'm gonna put these, flip them over, and the key to this that I learned the hard way is to make sure you remember which is like the top left or the top right. Otherwise they'll go out of order. So I'm using the glue because then I can move them around. I'll try to go slow. You have 2 pieces that aren't, you know what? I had 2 pieces too. That's when I was talking about taking my pick tool. But as you glue them, I use the glue. Some people use it's whatever your adhesive of choice is. You can kind of move it around a little bit before sticking it down. All right. So I found if I grabbed the top left corner and flipped it over, that I knew now that bottom left corner was the top left. And yes, I messed up pieces while I was practicing this, so that's how I know. All right, about 1/8 of an inch. See, my pieces moved already. So I understand, Tracy. I totally get it. Okay, I'm going to do this bottom one first. Whoops. Did I do it right? Yeah. My fingers have just enough glue on them where they're picking it up. So I'm going to do this bottom left just so that I know I'm keeping these even. Whoops, see, my fingers are sticking. But yeah, I tried this a couple different ways. I saw this, another demonstrator had done something similar to this, and then Peggy Outen, I think I pronounced her name correctly, did this on a live, and I said, oh, that's really cool. So I used some of what she did and some of what I found to put this together. So Peggy, thank you for inspiring me. All right. All right, I think I got them all. Okay, I do. Alrighty. How are you making out, Tracy? So I can use these for a different project, these other pieces. I can do the exact same card, only the opposite way. I could have just this spot up here and this spot down here by using those pieces. I could also use it on the inside if I wanted. All right. The next one, clue number 4. On the 2.5 inch, now I lost the piece. It was right here. 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch. And then I also have a 1 1/4 by a 2.5 inch piece. But on the 1 1/2 inch by 1 1/2 inch square, stamp your images or adhere your die cuts, whichever it's going to be. You have one that's not cooperating. Can you redo it? Get your pick tool out and pop it up and redo it. Hopefully. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I pulled out the Cheerful Daisies because these were daisies, even though this is from the Meandering Meadows Designer Series paper. And I thought I would stamp daisies on here. All right, I need to get out my block. A couple different blocks. I have all different sizes here that I could play with. We'll just see what comes out when I pull it out. I don't know. I started reorganizing this weekend, so pieces aren't always where they're supposed to be. Isn't that always the case? So because I want to use some leaves, I'm going to use the smaller flower. But you guys, whatever stamp set you've pulled out, go ahead and use. And I'm going to, let's see, I want a solid color and then the darker color. And I've pulled out green, garden green from my leaves. and crushed curry for my flower. And I think I need a lighter yellow too. Let's see. I think I'll try the, sorry, all my stamps are in front of me, so I'm shaking the camera a little bit. Do I pull out all 12 pieces glued on? 12 pieces? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. The other 4 you'll save for later. Hopefully that you got that. All right, I'm going to do the lighter yellow. Get my Daffodil Delight out and stamp the solid color. And then get out my crushed curry and do the outline. Hopefully I line it up right. Sometimes these two-step stamps are really tricky, but they come out so great if you get it just right. Not too bad. Not perfect, but not too bad. And I'm going to put a few leaves on. And I don't want it too busy because this paper is quite busy. I just want a few leaves. Oops, missed a spot. Ruh-roh. Oh well. I could probably put another flower on too, but I don't want it to be too busy. Because there's a small one here. I could put these on. I could do those in that purple. Fresh freesia. There we go. Kind of put it all together. Get out my Stampin' Scrub and my Stampin' Mist. Give it a spritz. Clean my stamps before I end up with ink all over me and my project. I don't know about you, but no fail. If I don't do this, I end up with ink on me and my project. All right. All clean and ready to put away. How you making out, Tracy? Did I lose you? Okay. Well, the second part of this clue is to adhere to the open section. So that's what I'm going to do. But I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal for this. Just because it's a bigger spot to glue. And I think I'll do it this way. Just kind of center it as best you can, like so. There we go. All right, clue number 5. On the 1 1/4 by 2 1/2 white piece, stamp the sentiment in coordinating color and adhere to the open 1 1/4 by 2.5 inch section. So I'm going to pull a sentiment out of my stamp set, and I always need birthday cards, so I'm going to use the birthday greeting. While I have this open, I'm going to put these away so I can use my blocks. I love this set. It's so pretty. And I like this Oopsie Daisies. Alright. Oh, I better put it on the bigger block. I have a C around somewhere, but we'll have to use the D. And I think I'm going to use the crushed curry. Kind of balance out that yellow. Alright, center it as best I can. There we go. Close my ink. Get out my Stampin' Scrub. Clean and dry. Wash and dry, however you want to term it. Put it back in my stamp case. Alright, and then adhere. There we go. Alright, clue number 6. Oh, you know what I forgot to put in here? Clue number 6 says to embellish, but I forgot to put in, let's put it on the front of our card. Whoops! I'll make sure I change the tutorial. So I have a piece of crushed curry here. Just going to add some Stampin' Seal. Put it on the front of my card. Now I also have a piece of white for the inside. You could put another greeting inside, or another flower, or you could add some of these in there, or you could take a piece of what you cut off and put a little strip right there. And guess what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut a little piece off and put it on the side. Just like a 1/2 inch piece. I don't want to take up the whole thing. I just want to add a little something to it. Oops. My scoring blade fell off. Misplaced my basic beige pieces. I'm sorry, having a tough time, Tracy. I've been there, I know. Alright, I think this is the same size, but if not, I'll just snip it afterwards. It is the same size. Alright, I'll just put it on the inside. Now this is a little smaller. I usually make it a little bigger, but somebody, meaning me, thought she had more white cardstock, and she didn't. So thankfully I had these pieces as a thank you from Stampin' Up. So this is what I've been using. So this is just 1/2 a sheet. So anyway, the white cardstock is en route. I ordered it when I realized it was gone. All right, now I'm going to add, I tried looking at different rhinestones and that I had, and for some reason nothing was appealing to me. So I'm going to just use basic rhinestones. There we go. Just basic rhinestones. Well, I hope you find your pieces, Tracy. So there's my card. So see, it's, I don't know, I think Peggy called it an inchy. So anyway, so there's a birthday card I can give to somebody. So when I first started this, I did this card, but I didn't like it. So see, you can see I was struggling trying to keep the pieces straight and in order. But I wanted you to see that not every card came out perfect. So this was the first one that I did, and it's okay, but it's not my best work. And then I did this one, which came out a little better. Did I put it in? No, I didn't put an inside on, but yeah. And then I decided to do one that was not a scene, because see, these two are a scene, and then this one was like a scenic. And I did one with designer series paper that was not a scene. So there are all kinds of options that you can do, but I do like it with the piece underneath, the accent piece underneath, much better than with it without it plain. So see, here it is plain, and then these have the pieces underneath. I like it much better. I hope you do too. All right, Tracy, let me know if you need help. You can just send me an instant message, and I can help you finish your card. I will also post the tutorial for this so that you can get it and follow the instructions, probably a little slower than what I did. So thank you very much for joining me. If you have any questions, you can contact me through my website, ybstamp.com, where you will also find the tutorial. And then, let's see, what else? Oh yeah, next week, back to basics, 7 o'clock on my YouTube channel. Until then, happy stamping.